Hello, folks. You are listening to WPVM LP 103.7 in Asheville. You can listen to us online at WPVMFM.org. This is Busker Broadcast, and I am Abby the Spoon Lady. And would you all like to introduce yourselves?
Yes. Hi, my name is AJ Pyatt from Hendersonville, North Carolina.
I'm Sara Rose from California.
And I am Nathan Robinson from Hendersonville.
Awesome. And how long have y'all been busking together?
We met about 2 or 3 hours ago.
Yeah. My first day.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like,
His first day of busking.
I saw her busking once, and I broke a string, so I couldn't play anymore. But I had my percussion instruments, so I kind of started backing her up, and then he joined along. It was all. Now we're a happy family.
A couple hours later, yeah. You guys want to play the radio?
Us to come play with him.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Huh? I've been busking here for a long time. I don't know, a decade on and off. And I really, really enjoy it. And I really, really enjoy the spontaneity of it. And this is a real good picture into that, which is kind of cool.
Definitely, you can go out there with the guitar and leave with the band really quickly.
Now, you're both from Hendersonville. So y'all are friends from Hendersonville, or?
I see him around.
I see him around is all it is.
So no.
No conversation until right now with the instruments.
Yeah,
Well, that's
first
kind
time,
of
really.
interesting. Have you ever? This is your first time busking.
Yeah, this is my first time busking.
So you never bust in Hendersonville,
Nope. No.
but you.
That's my territory.
Yeah, you were talking about how that's a completely different world.
Yeah, it really is, because busking is so unexpected there. It's a very quiet retirement town. So when they see someone playing on the streets, the first reaction is, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
But nowadays, as it becomes more people are trying it, becomes more acceptable. The police have kind of put out designated spots for it, and
Does that make it feel a little awkward?
it really does. When they're like, stay inside that box, keep your music inside that box. So I'm like, I'm pretty loud. It's gonna go everywhere anyway. Why is it gotta be right there? And to a point, they said they were trying to protect business owners. But then we start talking to business owners who are like, no, we actually really do enjoy that. The cops are not speaking for us. If you want to play in front of my business, please do. The loophole's been like, they'll give us a drink or give us something, and now all of a sudden they've paid us to be there.
Right.
So the business, they're really happy about it, and the cops are leaning back because they're seeing the tourists that they wanted to protect say, hey, leave them alone. They're seeing the stores they wanted to protect say, leave them alone. So they're kind of like, what do we do?
Do you feel like it brings folks out a little bit and gets people walking around, looking around?
It really does. Like, if you've ever been to Hendersonville, if you've never been there, it's one long main street. It's one quiet street. So when there's something happening, it's...
I've bussed down there before. It's been a long time, but...
it's a very
I have
quiet
before.
town. It's just people walk silently, but all of a sudden there's music happening, and even those quiet people have kids, and those families, all of a sudden becomes a big dance-off down there, and that's my favorite part about Hendersonville now, is seeing it come to life like that.
That's neat. So in comparison to Asheville?
Comparison to Asheville, like, I think music's kind of expected. If you walk around Asheville, you don't see music, you're kind of like, what's going on here? This is a weird day. In Hendersonville, it's just kind of like, what, music? I don't know, but I'll take it. But here, it's just expected, and there's actually a Busker community. It's not just me, it's not just a little kid with a violin. There's so many musicians, as you can see right now, and everyone's really cool with each other. I really like being a part of that community. I don't feel like I'm a part of a community in Hendersonville. I feel like I stand alone as kind of a sideshow act sometimes. And here you just fit right in. And you're one of many.
Do you often play with other people?
Now, since playing in Asheville, I've started kind of picking up jamming with people. Before, I was kind of strictly solo. And, I played bass before in a lot of bands, but I grabbed my guitar so I could be a solo act. And in Hendersonville, there aren't people really apt to jam with you. In Asheville, I've met mandolin players, banjo players, fiddle players, ukuleles, guitar players, and I just welcome all of it now.
Yeah, everybody's been so nice. I've been here about a week, and I've met so many musicians that have just come up and wanted to play with me and have been so supportive. And so it's like, I don't know, I've never seen you before. What's your name? Like,
Yeah, it's cool. Everybody's really,
I love that moment, like, right when it starts, when you're playing your song and someone says, hey, can I jam with you? You're kind of like, in your head, you're like, I hope this guy's good. I hope this is gonna... And then that moment where it just clicks and you're like, nice. Continue, sir. Or ma'am, sorry.
Goodness. So why don't you all play us a little something? You want to?
Yeah.
You like it?
I'll play a song.
All right. I'm going to scoot this mic over.
We're going to play musical instruments here for a little bit.
All right. Are you playing too?
I think he's just going to do this one.
All right, cool.
I'm all alone.
Oh, no. What's the name of this one?
This song's called She's High Class, I'm Mediocre at Best. And the story behind this song is it was great. Some friends of mine were a band called Old North State. They were really one of my favorite bands. They're close friends of mine. And then they broke up and they reformed themselves, but they were going to throw away this song. And I remember begging them, like, no, no, no. Do not throw that song away. This song has so much life. It's so much. Can I just adopt it? Can it be part of my repertoire? And they're kind of like, you want it, bro? Have it. So now I'm like, mine.
Here you go.
Oh, baby, won't you tell me, please, just what you see in me? Why are you keeping me around? And I'm not saying that I'm hating all the plans you're making, but you still got me round. So come on, girl, call and ask me. You know I'd be so happy just to follow you down. But baby, I'm not going today. But that day is not far away. But I'll be getting in my car and driving us to the sky. And I know that she'll be there. And in her beauty I don't dare. Those deep green eyes and long brown hair. I say she's so dang beautiful. I know you can't be interested. I'm not the best dressed, but still not looking down. And back at home, yeah, I am thinking we should do the same for me. And I'm coming down 2, 3, 4. I must admit I'm quite in love. I can't get enough of your beautiful voice. And back at home, and I'm alone, and she's out on her own. Gotta get out the past, I really do. But baby, I'm not going today. But that day is not far away. But I'll be getting in my car, driving us to the sky. And I know that she'll be there. And in her beauty I don't dare. Those deep green eyes and long brown hair. My word, I swear she's so damn beautiful. But all these things in the world that I could have, they won't be just the man she makes me. She's high class, I'm mediocre at best. She stole my heart, I call that junk thievery. But baby, I'm not going today, nah, nah, nah. But that day is not far away. But I'll be getting in my car, driving us to the sky. And I know that she'll be there, she will. And in her beauty I don't dare. Those deep green eyes and long brown hair. I swear she's so damn beautiful. I say she's way too beautiful. I say you're way too beautiful. Thank y'all.
Awesome. Where do you get the inspiration for a lot of your songs?
The girls that walk by me. No, these guys are laughing because all day they've watched me and this girl walk by, and I remember a singer's like, oh, she's so beautiful. I wanted to know her name, and she was like, not that easy around me. So I've asked her favorite season, her favorite color, her favorite movie. She answers, what's your name? Not so much. So they've watched me struggle with this and deal with that all day, and that's why that laughter happens.
I think that a lot of buskers have told me that they get a lot of inspiration from their direct surroundings while they're playing. You know?
Yeah, that's a cuter way to say that. I like that one.
Well, the people you meet.
Definitely.
The things you run into. And if you're traveling for busking, then the way you get there.
Definitely. I remember being on tour, all the songs become like road stories. Every time you leave your town, it's a different story. Every time you're sitting in a car for more than 3 hours, you're like, this story happens. I definitely noticed that. Like traveling the country, I wrote a lot of songs. I came back home, I was dry.
For your first time busking, you get put on the radio.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, my first time busking. There we go. Yeah, my first time, and
here I am on the radio. So it's
First time on the radio too.
yeah. Oh, is it your first time too?
Nah.
No? Okay, I didn't think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I've done this before.
Yeah. That was crazy. I thought I was just gonna come up here and play a little guitar on the sidewalk, and then I meet these guys, and here I am on the radio. Okay, yeah, it's cool.
Well, Busker broadcast pretty much is just talking about busking issues, busking music, the stories behind it, and so that's a perfect story for us here.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
And
yeah.
Asheville has a lot going on with its busking scene, especially, we just recently hit the New York Times, and
Wow.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
And we're hoping that everything will keep continuing on for the better. Right now, everything seems to be going pretty smooth. So
Very
I'm
cool.
hoping that keeps snowballing.
Remember, I was seeing on the news a lot about Busker reforms and new laws, or any of those. Like, what happened with that?
Yeah. Well, right now, a lot of our stuff is still kind of going to public safety, and so it's a lot of sitting through and waiting and waiting and waiting.
Yeah, everyone kept asking, like, you go to Asheville. Is it okay? Are you getting arrested when you go busking now? Like, do you need to bring bail money? Like,
no. The police department here is great.
I see them dancing.
Especially in comparison to other cities and their views on busking. I can honestly say that as I've been bringing performers in here to Busker broadcast, that it generally seems like the kids who tell me that they're getting messed with by the cops are the rowdiest ones. It doesn't really seem like anybody's getting picked on.
Absolutely. I've noticed that, like, when it comes to someone who's truly entertaining, truly talented, the cops have no problem with that whatsoever. They seem like they're really just trying to stop anyone who's publicly drunk or not very talented, or scaring off. If you're out there for pure reasons and being a genuine, polite, kind person, you're okay.
Right. And a lot of that, too, part of this broadcast is also getting out the message, like somebody's there after you. So be good to your surroundings, be good to the people around you, be good to the businesses that you're in front of, pick up your trash, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. I want you to imagine the spoon lady standing in front of you, shaking her finger at you right now, Buskers. That's what I want you to do. I'll be getting out the big...
Yes.
I'm going to be walking around with the big wooden spoon by the end of the year if you're not careful. Y'all want to do another one?
Yeah, I'll do one more. Then I want to bring up the trio because this is really cool to me. Like, I have my solo career. I do everything I do, but then, like, to go out and just break a string and then realize I still want to keep playing. I couldn't find the string, so I was kind of like just shaking a rhythm making a tambourine.
Yeah, Billy Scribbles sent me a message, said something about leaving a guitar up here.
That's another, like, cool Busker thing. I had mentioned not having a string. He goes, there will be a guitar, man. If you need one, there will be one. Like, thank you. Like, I was going to come up with some excuses. I can't do it. I can't make it. No, you're going. There's a guitar there. You'll be fine. Done. And he said this to me while he's playing a banjo with some other guys, too. He didn't stop speaking. He didn't break his stride to tell me, no, we got you, bruh. Really.
That's great.
Coolest guy I know. He's so cool.
Yeah, he's been helping me a lot with the radio stuff, and I really appreciate his help and input. And it's been really great to have him around.
Definitely.
So.
As long as he's not here to hear this, like, ego blowing we're giving him.
Yeah.
Try listening
I
right now.
I brag about him pretty consistently. I think he knows it. At least I hope he knows it. But yeah, here, let's get you started. What's this one called?
This one's called Better Than Us. It's track 1 on this CD that I can't tell you to get. Sorry.
You can tell people where to find your music.
You know what? If you happen to stumble upon ajpyatt.bandcamp.com and do whatever you want to do there,
yeah. If you happen to be searching the web and type in this name.
Google AJ Pyatt, Pyatt, you'll find some things, and, whatever. Do what you need to do.
Yeah, there we go. That's perfect.
In a crowded room, that was me. Before I found you, I was sick. You were the cure. Was a time I thought that I'd be fine being the lonely guy, but now I'm not so sure. And when I see you, a light shines through on a dark day. You're a well-lit moon, you let me know I'm not on my own. You lift me right up when I'm feeling down, and I'm lucky you're staying around. You let me know, you give me hope. I'm not on my own. Now look at us, it doesn't get much better than us, and everybody knows it's true. And I'm loving how I look beside you. There was a chip on my shoulder, a hole in my heart. Felt like my body was falling apart. Then you fixed me up so good. And when I see you, a light shines through on a dark day. You're a well-lit moon, you let me know I'm not on my own. You lift me right up when I'm feeling down, and I'm lucky you're staying around. You let me know, you give me hope. I'm not on mine. Cold Carolina day, wind making us shake. Your mama called us crazy, but we still wouldn't break. And I knew in my heart what I knew from the start, it was love. It had to be love. Yeah. It had to be love. And when I see you, a light shines through on a dark day. You're a well-lit moon, you let me know I'm not on my own. You lift me right up when I'm feeling down, and I'm lucky you're staying around. You let me know, you give me hope. I'm not on my own. Ring. Good.
Awesome. Do you have music in your family?
I have a dad who's a jazz musician and a mom who's a poet, so I was pretty much doomed to be loud. Doomed to be loud and saying things I shouldn't say.
Jazz musician, like horns or?
My dad was like the bassist, guitar player, drummer kind of guy. At some point, I found music because his bass player quit and he just needed a bass player. It became 8-year-old AJ, come here. You're a bassist now. You're going to have to deal with it or you're grounded. Pick one. And next thing you know, I'm in a band. Next thing you know, like... But as an 8-year-old playing bass, and that continued on throughout 12, 10, 13, I started joining punk bands and being the youngest member of said punk bands every single time in the area. And somehow led that to bluegrass and folk music. It all progressed.
What were some of the band names from your...
the worst band names
Oh,
ever.
I love hearing them.
Here we go. Nunchuck Woolery, the Apple Pirates, the Has-Beens. Yeah, there's horrible names. Like every single street address, 30 Moss, Brightwater Drive, we were those kids.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, Nunchuck Woolery, I thought was like the best one. I thought we could be the best. I thought Nunchuck Woolery was prime for world domination.
That's awesome. I love asking that question.
Like, you know what's embarrassing? Like, I can't believe I put that on a t-shirt. I can't believe I wore that t-shirt.
Well, would you say that you prefer busking here or in Hendersonville? Like, do you have a preference between one and the other?
I like Asheville because it's just, there's so much appreciation for what you're doing. There's so much, you get more from the store owners, people, like, other buskers. There's no competition here. Henderson was a very small town, so when someone else does decide to busk, I come with like, hey, nice to see you out here, good luck. And they're like, psh, you on the street too? You better stay out of my way. You're like, come on, like, is it really like that?
Yeah.
Does it have to be like that?
Have you bussed in any other cities around?
Yeah, while I was on tour, I did like a lot of the cities. Was kind of just trying to make extra gas money. And I gotta say, like, from busking just different towns, I thought it'd be easy everywhere. I thought it'd be one of those things you bus, McMahon, get out. And it's like it's not. Some places just aren't meant for it. Some places don't have the, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but they're missing that certain X factor that allows buskers to do what they do and thrive.
Yeah.
My weird experience probably New Orleans, where I was definitely playing my style, and they were kind of like, the tourists here kind of come to see Zydeco and big bands and little kids busting percussion everywhere. You and your little love songs gotta do something bigger.
Yeah. Certain cities, I guess, have a certain flow to them for sure.
Well, it's similar to here, where people come to North Carolina to hear Appalachian and bluegrass. They come to hear that style. So when you see our streets out here with banjos and fiddles, it makes sense.
Yeah, when I'm in an old time band for the day, I do real well.
Yeah, I mean that's just the sound people want around here.
Yeah.
I said with New Orleans, like I did okay, but it wasn't what they came here to see.
Right.
That brass band definitely enslaved me down the street. And
Right. In Asheville, I feel, is a little bit more open. We have a lot of different kind of musical styles on the street, and so it's kind of an open playing field a little bit, though.
I did that. I saw.
I mean, in comparison to New Orleans is definitely weighted towards blues, jazz, ragtime, and horn bands and such. It just is what it is. Chicago, it's blues.
I think Asheville is known for being the weird place. It's kind of that spot. So if you come, you'll see your bluegrass. You'll get it. But you'll also see the hammer dulcimer guy. You'll see these.
Derek.
He's so cool, man.
Derek's great.
He wants to replace all the plastic in my guitar with stones. I'm kind of gonna let him do that.
Yeah. Derek plays a hammer dulcimer downtown. If you know who I'm talking about, and you're interested in looking him up.
The homemade hammer dulcimer too. He makes his. That's what's crazy about
with crystals is the hardware. But if you're interested in looking him up, that's Sources of Sound or Celestially Rooted. I can't even say the word. But it's pretty awesome stuff. He's also a luthier and does a bunch of really awesome work. So you don't want to jam out for me, right?
Yeah.
Want to do that one?
While we were just playing?
Which one?
While we were just playing?
Yeah.
Okay, now's the trio here.
Yeah,
Who's singing what and who's doing what?
I'm singing. This is one of my songs.
What's it called?
A Thorn to Every Rose.
Okay, let's put this here and here, and I think this will pick up.
Yeah, I don't get
Awesome.
Okay.
You get the trio. The ghostly trio.
All right. Oh, sorry, 1 second. It's live radio here.
I'll start.
My capo's all buzzing. Okay.
Oh, it's funny, the essence in these thorns, these old scars, some of my finest ornaments, the old loneliness that pulled me under, feels another song, it won't be long, till I make something out of this pain. She got a little rain, water my garden, oh darling, why don't you come on my way? Come on my way, wanna hear you say, la-di-da-da, so it goes. La-di-da-da, la-di-da, there's a thorn to every rose. So line up your sorrows in a row, look them in the eye, say let's go for a walk, come on let's talk. I've got time on my hands, and the water in the sand it calls me to the shore, and all this stuff I've been lugging around, it's weighing me down. No, I don't need this baggage no more. No, I don't need this baggage no more. on, my we wanna hear you say la-di-da-da. And so it goes la-di-da-da, la-di-da. There's a thorn to every rose. It don't mean I don't adore the young child who's filled her pockets with stones. So wind blow away, blow away. It's time to go, child. You don't have to stay anymore. So let it blow away. So tenderly, the younger child is looking out for me, is looking out for me. So darling, why don't you come on my way, darling? Why don't you come on my way? Wanna hear you say la-di-da-da. And so it goes la-di-da-da, la-di-da. There's a thorn to every rose. La-di-da-da, la-di-da-da. There's a thorn to every rose. So it goes la-di-da-da-da. There's a thorn to every rose.
I could. I'm sorry. Now. They'll never know you exist.
So what spot were you busking at today?
Right in front of malaprops. They can't hear me. Why don't say that? We were right in front of malaprops. You know where the statues are?
Yeah. That's a good spot.
It's good for what we do. The acoustics of it just sounds really good.
Do you have a favorite spot in Nashville?
My personal favorite is definitely that flat iron. I love that flat iron. It's like
Yeah, I like that spot.
right at the back. That sound. Sometimes I just hit the flat iron for the thump sound. It's cool.
A lot of us buskers kind of wait in line for spots. I don't ever see you waiting out a spot. I see you kind of just like
Showing up super early
and do that.
Yeah, I bring like the suitcase to sit on or a strap to stand, so I can kind of just move around, just pick one and go. I do see the buskers kind of waiting around for certain spots. I'm like, there are other spots open. Just go ahead and take your time. Just go somewhere else. Like, that's always been my mile. Like, why wait? I could be playing.
I end up having to wait because crowd size issues.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do
so-
draw those crowds.
So I end up not really being able to play in front of malprops. So
I would just show up way too early. There's like no one around even when I start playing. So like, I've been playing for 3 hours, but when everyone shows up, it's an hour. Shh, a secret there.
Shh, nobody.
Don't tell anyone on the radio.
Well, for the most part, I think late night busking ends up getting pretty rowdy. And I don't know if you've experienced that, like 8 to 10 o'clock at night.
I've gone out like once or twice. I've realized I guess I'm very family friendly. The daytime crowd, I do really well with that. As far as like the nighttime crowd, it does get really rowdy out there, and they want to see some craziness. I'm kind of just singing low, and they want to see fire and jumping. And my biggest beef was whenever like a drunk guy leaves the bar and says, "Give me your guitar, let me jam one." Because I'm always like, no.
Oh, yeah.
I'm consistently, nah, you don't need to play a song right now. I'll play you a song.
Right, no. Yeah, that gets frustrating. I get people like grabbing at my spoons and stuff once in a while, and I'm like, I don't care if it's a spoon or not. You know.
Yeah, how do you deal with that? How do you politely say, "Don't touch my stuff"?
Yeah, and sometimes you have to be a little forceful. You know, you just have to stand your ground because sometimes they just don't know. They just don't get it, or they just don't care to get it.
My last, like, I'll say busking weird story was I was playing, I just started, I made a couple bucks, and this girl comes up to me from the Pritchard Park area, one of those types. She's like, I see you just made some money. Will you please give it to me so I can feed my dog right now? And I'm like, what? Oh. Yeah, I was really like, it was kind of like, I do like dogs, but I don't like the idea of just giving you all my money right now. And she wanted all of it. She was no I'll give you $1. Well, I need $5. Really?
Can you sing and play? Like,
I'll kind of offer like, you want to try and jam for a little bit, and the whole thing. And then as she's leaving, she's screaming out how much I hate dogs, how this guy hates animals, how he won't give his money to this animal. I'm like, the dog looks perfectly happy. To be honest, I bet.
Oh goodness.
I'm like, there's dog biscuits around that corner, that corner. The dog won't eat dog biscuits. She only wants a hot dog. I'm like,
It just happens.
yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely crazy folks. I've had some folks say some pretty mean things and then say some pretty inflated things before too, like, "Oh, you're the best thing ever," and da da da.
You are the greatest.
I mean, like to the point where like the equivalent of like they come around the corner and they look at you like they just like scream like they just seen the Beatles or something. Like.
So I think my favorite thing, I get a lot of random shows from this. I get a lot of like, you're really good. You're gonna be free in an hour. We have a party in the park. We could use some music for. Do you mind doing that? Like I do that all the time. Like, like you saw today. You go busking. You never know how the day could end. You go all with one intention. And all of a sudden it's, I see you're clearly free. How about just come over here and play?
Yeah, and I have issues sometimes getting, like folks don't realize that buskers can make a decent living, and that sometimes if you move inside as a busker, you could be losing money.
Yeah.
Folks don't realize that,
Well, I've had a lot of venues where they'll say like, we'll give you $50 for 3 hours, and when I say no, they're like, excuse me, we'll give you all the beer you want, $50. I'm like, that's not.
Yeah, but you're losing money then.
Like, yeah, I could definitely go outside and do that.
Right, and I think the average professional busker here probably makes more than most restaurant type things.
I got a lot of friends in the service industry.
Yeah. And that's just the truth of it. And they don't realize that. And so they'll send emails to buskers, wanting to pay them just a meal, or thinking that they'll just play for tips because that's what they're used to.
Yeah.
Or they'll say, "Oh, we want to build this spot, outside of our patio for buskers to play on our private property." And I'm like, shouldn't you just hire someone to play on your private property? Because that's not busking.
I'll say I'm having that issue. There's that line where you're a busker and it's like they call it like a stage performer. I do both. I do play shows. I do bus too. But there's people who only see you as the busker, so they don't want to pay you. They don't want to deal with that. There's like,
and it's frustrating because not only are you a professional musician, but you are a professional musician that is out there working hard and practicing every single day, and you know your stuff.
I feel like they pay more for that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I got my CD here. Here's my business card. Come on, like, visit ajpyatt.com. Like, I promise, it's more than just me on the street with my guitar. This is more than that.
And it's a serious issue for buskers. I consistently hear that whole thing come up, that whole scenario come up all the time with buskers.
Just having to find out how to cross that line where it's like, do you give up busking? Someone told me that, just stop playing streets and they won't treat you like that. But I'm like, I love playing streets. I love the reaction. I love
There's nothing wrong with playing on the street, though. And that's the thing. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't mean that you're unable to play in the bar. It doesn't mean you're not good enough to play in the bar. For me, it means that the bars can't afford me.
Yeah. I mean, when I first started, I was
like
definitely
where
not
I'm
good
at.
enough.
Why would I want to take a pay cut for what? For what?
For what?
I mean, because right now, as it sits, I have, mass PR power. I'm down there all the time,
Definitely.
And so, why would I want to trade that in?
I mean, busking's the reason I'm as strong a performer as I am. Before, I definitely had stage fright issues. I would just be on stage and kind of like not look at anyone. But now I engage. Now I interact. And it's thanks to playing streets. That's what taught me how to like put myself out there and just be fearless. Just be that guy who's like you're there and ready to kill it.
Yeah, just do it. Make it happen.
Like the idea of stage fright is very laughable to me right now. I've played in front of some weird places and I just don't care anymore.
Right.
It feels very empowering, really, just to like whip out your instrument
Yeah,
wherever you are and start playing,
Right. Right. That and the people you meet, the people that can meet you now. It's all really, really great. All of it.
Most definitely.
And then you look at folks like Kane Cube, the triplets that come out playing horns.
Yeah, I love those.
They they're out here, you know, and they're still in school and whatnot, and coming out here on the weekends, and they're just really, really awesome kids. And you know, one of their brothers is going to be going to saxophone camp for part of the summer, and the other two are a little bummed out, and so I'm hoping they'll sit in with us. I'm hoping.
We'll take them.
I think it would be fun, you know.
Do you do that a lot? Do you like scout talent sometimes? You're like, yeah, you.
The folks that I'm playing with a lot, we're just all kind of friends, you know. We just hang out together and float around. I live in an artist space with several other performers
Very
also
cool.
that come down, and you know, we all just kind of know each other, and a lot of it's also from traveling. I rode trains for 8 years, and so I know a lot of those folks from busking around the country. And we're
so
talking
cool.
about Nathan Riviera being in town. He's a accordion player, and I'm hoping maybe I can get him on the radio sometime this week. That'd be pretty awesome.
Such a good accordion player too, like ridiculously good.
Yeah, and he drew a picture of me, and the folks I was playing with, I thought it was awesome. Well, y'all want to jam out another one?
Yeah.
Yeah?
All right.
What do you have? What's it called?
You gonna do another one of mine, or you wanna? Yeah. Sure. This one's called "Stay in Bed."
Stay in bed. You wrote these?
I did, yeah.
This is the D minor.
It's the C, A minor.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, the rain has come, washing my cobwebs away. Come on, let's play together. Come on, don't send me away. Because it's cold outside, and the winter time is settling in. Come on, let's make a bed for two, me and you. Let's stay all cozy today. Oh, 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 oh. When the world invades, peace of mind. We can't stay awake all night. Listen to the rain. When we're wearing thin, we can't just stay in. So we're all cozy. You fit perfectly in my arms. But what's the harm, babe? Are you afraid to fall in love? Open your heart to the broken parts you felt before. Doesn't have to be this hard, honey. It can be easy. Don't stand in your own way. We can just play. Stay in bed all day. Oh, oh, ooh, oh, oh. Oh, the rain has come, washing my cobwebs away. Come on, let's play together. Come on, don't send me away. 'Cause it's cold outside, and the winter time is settling in. Come on, let's make a bed for two, me and you. Let's stay all cozy today. doesn't have to be this hard, honey. It can be easy to stand in your own way. You can just play, stay in bed all day.
Sounds like someone's been practicing.
Yeah.
The last 2 hours.
Yeah. So, how do we find your music online?
No, I don't really have a place to go. Soon I will. Just,
I have a few accesses to some resources if you need some help putting some stuff up, and there's no issue whatsoever, and I'd be happy to help.
oh, I would love to talk to you about that. Yeah. Yeah, I really it's been a roller coaster this year of trying to get some music together, put some music up, and it just hasn't quite happened.
Well,
So,
how long do you plan on being in town?
at least for a few more weeks, I'll be around. So,
Awesome.
I'm thinking about coming back and living here, but I've just sort of scoping it out and seeing if
Testing the waters.
yeah,
Putting the big toe in.
Yeah.
That's all right. And do you plan on coming back up to Busk
Oh yeah.
from
I mean,
Hendersonville?
I'm having a good time doing it, so
So you,
Yeah.
so you're ready for round 2?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Sold.
so I'm sold. Yeah. First day, met some cool people, got on the radio.
I'm pretty
so
sold, honestly. Maybe.
it's a good time.
You were my friend Peter was playing bass with you the other day.
Yeah, that was fun.
Peter's a lot of fun. He floats in and out of town. Peter, if you're listening, I love you.
Yeah, he
But,
was a sweetie. That was a lot
Yeah,
of fun.
he's great. He came out and did a barn party with us last night, or yesterday afternoon, actually. And that was real fun. And I see him from time to time just kind of floating in. He'll be in town for like 2 weeks and disappear again, and be in another 2 weeks and disappear again. And that's one thing I really, really like about Asheville, is the fact that it is so organic and moving, and the music is kind of the same way. The music is always the same but different every time you come. And I also really like the fluidity and the way that it kind of fits within, the entire region. When you talk about the way that performers also travel, performers, like the relationship between New Orleans and Asheville, and how that influence hits Asheville because of that. And that's why you get a lot of these New Orleans sounding bands here, and it's because they probably are from New Orleans. And so, but that's why folks kind of associate some of that New Orleans-y kind of music with Asheville too, along with the hillbilly music. Is because of that influence. I don't think folks really realize how strong that influence is.
Yeah.
So how long have you been playing ukulele?
Not that long, actually. Like about 1.5 years.
Is that your first instrument?
No, I'm actually like first and foremost a cellist. I grew up classically trained cello, and I've always loved singing and writing poetry, and just this was sort of an easier way to write songs. And I would have picked up a guitar, but it was just too many strings for me. So 4 strings is like enough. So I've been playing this little baritone uke for.
It's a good instrument to pick up, just if you want to sing with an instrument, because the chords are really easy. And
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Do you think a ukulele is a good instrument for someone to learn on?
Definitely.
Oh,
It's so accessible. It's really, because you can pick up, the chords are really easy, and you can pick up a couple and just
yeah.
Awesome.
day,
Awesome.
afternoon or so.
Well, we got 10 minutes before the break if y'all want to play another one.
The
Yeah.
Avid cover, dude. Your Avid cover.
The Avid cover?
Yeah.
All right. I'll try to remember the words on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we're just jamming here. And if you're just now tuning in, these folks, don't formally have a band.
We are the familiar
But
strangers.
somebody on the street told us that
Yeah.
was our name.
Well, that's
So we'll
very
take it.
fitting. That's
Yeah,
very
that's fitting. Yeah.
I can upload these jam sessions as that.
There you go.
Nice.
Cool. All right, let me get into it. Disappear from your hometown. Go and find the people that you know. Show them all your good parts. Leave town when the bad ones start to show. Go and wed a woman, a pretty girl that you never met. Make sure she knows you love her well, but don't make any other promises. Heard the worst thing a man can do is draw a hungry crowd. Tell everyone his name and pride and confidence, believing out his doubt. I'm not sure I bought those words when I was young. I knew most everything. These words have never meant as much to anyone as they now mean to me. Thank you.
Try not to.
Try not to do it.
I was like, don't do it, dude. Don't make it cheesy. Don't do that.
No, that's cool. Make it cheesy, man. Have fun with it, you know.
That's great. Where'd that song come from?
That's an Avett Brothers song, an old Avett Brothers song.
Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're from Concord. If you heard of them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
What inspires you to choose the songs that you do?
I mean, I started listening to them. They were kind of always like my inspiration to play and sing a little bit, I guess. I've been listening to them for, since I was like 16. So, I just really like that song, and I learned it a long time ago, and so I mean, songs that inspire me is just, or inspire me to learn a song is just something that, you know, when I listen to it, I get moved by it. So if I'm moved by a song, I'm like, wow, that's really good. I like to sing to that. I want to play it, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. We're coming up on the end of our hour. I'm thinking my 5 o'clock folks aren't showing up.
Uh-oh.
So, I mean, you guys are welcome to stay for another hour if you want and hang out.
Let's get right back to Hendersonville.
Well, I could take you home.
We're good.
later.
I'll keep jamming and done.
I'll take you home.
Yes.
But I think for a moment here, I might want to take a little moment, take a break, and send our listeners to listen to some Bus Break. And I'll tell folks that you are listening to Busker Broadcast. And we are hanging out and having a great time in downtown Asheville next to the public library in the Vanderbilt building. And we are really, really awesome folks that you should seek out on the street as you are coming around Asheville. And, you know, if, you know, it really is a great idea to spend time looking around at the other street performers, even if you are a street performer yourself. Get to know the folks around you, get to talking, communicating, you know. It's just that's what creates more and more community, and that's one of the reasons that this broadcast exists. And thank you, WPVM, for giving buskers this opportunity. It is a really, really awesome thing. And as Billy Scribbles comes to the door, we will look up our Bus Break video. All right, folks, you're listening to Busker Broadcast.
My baby don't want no sugar. My baby don't want no cream. She just wants that good caffeine. My baby don't want no sugar. She prefers to live black. Someday she'll have a heart attack. Wakes up every morning just about 10:30. Legs all shaking like I don't know when. So get that first leg popping, get that fresh breath drumming, put it in my good caffeine. I don't mind a little sugar, I don't mind a little cream, but there's one thing that I do need. When I'm feeling tired, when I need to be inspired, there's one thing that I do need. When I wake up every morning, just about 10:30, my hands start shaking like I don't know when. So get that bottle open, get that whiskey flowing, put it in my good caffeine. Get that bottle open, get that whiskey flowing, put it in my good cap, put it in my good cap, put it in my good caffeine.
You are listening to WPVM 103.7 FM, Asheville. Listen to us online at WPVMFM.org.
Baby, baby, get over here, the sun is in my eyes. What is that, eclipse? That's no eclipse, that's just that back gal of mine.
Don't need a pillow when she's around. Oh, it's winter. She needs summertime.
Hello, folks. You are listening to Busker Broadcast, and I am Abby the Spoon Lady. And we still have our wonderful guests here if y'all want to go around the circle and introduce yourselves.
I'm Sarah Rose.
I'm Nathan Robinson.
I'm AJ Pyatt Percussion.
Big dog. AJ, percussion.
Over here.
So a little bit of a recap. Y'all just started busking together today,
Yep, a couple hours ago. We just met a couple of hours ago.
right? And you sound extremely practiced for
Thank you.
just meeting a few hours ago.
Thank you.
And I think that's a real awesome thing, and it's really impressive. But it kind of goes to show why there should not be permits for busking.
Yeah, this
Because-
never happened.
Yeah.
Because in this, exactly. This would not happen if there were permits. And the more and more I do this broadcast, the more and more I realize the majority of folks coming through here either are locals who don't busk very often, or they're people just passing through. People here a month, even less than a month, 2 weeks, sometimes even just a night or two. And, they're not, out of the buskers, like AJ over here, who are down here on a very consistent basis, there's not a whole lot of us. I mean, not the regulars.
I noticed a lot. They're like, I'll see people for like a week and then I'll never see them again. And I'm like, oh, you're new in the scene. What's up? Welcome to it. And I never see them again.
Right.
It's
a pretty high turnover rate, quote unquote. I guess that's what you would say. But a lot of the traveling culture, they're just going on to the next town or the next region or whatever.
This is kind of off topic, but I was like, Abby's giving me a ride home after this. My friend's response, dude, we can get a beer with the Spoon Lady?
I mean, maybe we can work that out.
like, are you serious? I got clout in Nashville now,
Well, there are definitely a lot of opportunities here for buskers, and like I was saying during the last hour, I'm really hoping we can start some more communication about how busking really is a valid profession. That yes, there are unprofessional people busking, but that does not mean that you cannot be a professional busker. And that's the clear thing.
I think you're exactly right. When I go out there, I try to set that example. I try to set a good example. It's all clean. I don't do a lot of swearing. I kind of keep things. I respect the businesses I'm in front of. I thank everyone for every dollar they drop down. And I think that's something that people need to remember. Be polite.
Right. And we have a lot of strong personalities in Asheville. And part of some of those strong personalities want to shout about the First Amendment a lot, and please believe me, I do believe in our First Amendment, but I also believe in respect more so than anything else. So although you may have the right to scream and curse inappropriate songs on the street, it doesn't mean that you should.
Yeah.
And our forefathers, I'm sure, didn't mean this First Amendment, this freedom of speech, as anybody do anything that you want anywhere. It doesn't matter. That's not what it's about. It's about freedom of speech, as in we are free to voice our opinions so that we can make collectively the correct decision in the future. And that's what this is about.
And that's something I look for. I mean, I'm one of those people. I will go watch other buskers consist. I'll play for like an hour, then just go walk around and watch other buskers. That's actually how I met Sara. I was watching her busk and gave her a tuner.
Yeah, he just ran by and clipped a tuner on my ukulele and then walked off.
I liked what you were doing. You seem like you're having trouble.
You were playing with Peter. Yeah, I remember.
Like, I know it's hard to tune on the street. You can't really listen that well. Like, here, have a snark. You're good. You're good.
That's great.
I'm like, do you want it back? No. Thank you.
There's a whole lot of really awesome folks around here, and I hope you get to meet more and more of them as you're here. And
I mean, you've
more
met
and
the
more
best,
folks
but
are wanting to sit in with you, and I hope you get to sit in with a lot more and more folks too.
Yeah, so far everybody's been so nice, and
as you come back into town, right?
Yes.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'm
Right,
coming back.
right.
Yes, right.
You have to.
I'm
The
looking at him
universe
very
is
I
telling
mean,
you
yeah, I come up to
back.
Asheville anytime.
This is its
like,
first day of busking.
yes. Yes, I guess the stars are aligned, or something. I don't know.
With the sound of music.
Yes, yeah. yeah.
Billy Scribbles just walked in. we was praising you earlier.
Oh, nice.
We were.
I missed it.
I'll make sure to upload and clip out that one spot so that you can replay it for yourself over and over in the future.
That'd be your new
Put it on YouTube. I want to like it.
Now I got 2 likes on that.
Everything's coming up Scribbles.
That's awesome. You don't want to play any more tunes?
Yeah.
Get on a trio song. I like when
Trio?
the trio gets together.
What
Okay.
else do we have?
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Let's just have a little fun here.
They just started busking together today, Billy.
I know.
We could try
saw
to do,
her. What was it, yesterday, was it?
Yeah. A couple days ago or yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, she's like playing with people.
I think
And it
it's
sounded
awesome.
good, you know? I was like, damn, that was quick.
Yeah, I told them they sound extremely practiced.
Yeah.
Extremely practiced. Yeah.
You want to
Who's
do that
singing
Death
what?
Cab song?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Do
Yeah.
that one.
Who's singing what?
I guess we're gonna do
Who's doing what?
"I'll Follow You Into the Dark" by Death Cab for Cutie.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I forget the lyrics, try to remind me.
Oh
I
yeah.
might-
I'll help
I
you out.
forget.
Forever.
I'm out of the band forever.
Billy's right there, looking at your spot.
Okay. Let me start that over. I forgot. Okay, here we go. Oh man, I'm just forgetting this. Love of mine, someday you will die, but I'll be close behind to follow you into the dark, the blinding light, tunnels of gates of white, our hands clasped so tight, waiting for the hint of a spark. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the notes on their vacancy signs. If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, then I'll follow you into the dark. Public school, as vicious as Roman rule. I got my knuckles bruised by a lady in black. I held my tongue as she told me, son, fear is the heart of love. So I never went back. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the notes on their vacancy signs. If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, then I'll follow you into the dark. You and me, seen everything to see, from Bangkok to Calgary, and the holes in our shoes are all worn down. The time for sleep is now. There's nothing to cry about, and we'll hold each other soon, the blackest of moons. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the notes on their vacancy signs. If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, and I'll follow you into the dark. Forgot a few parts there, but okay.
It sounded great. I thought it sounded awesome.
Thank you.
I just like doing this.
Well, when did you start adding the percussion element to what you're doing?
When I tried to have other percussive players with me and they would never stay on beat, and I realized that my right foot could keep a beat, so I had a tambourine when I play guitar. And just today I happened to break a string and I wanted to jam, so I kind of took apart everything and started using my hands and realized, I got this little podunk drum kit here.
There you go.
Yeah, the shaker is just random. It's just in my case for no reason. Obviously, I play guitar. I can't play this. But everything else, it was all foot attachment. So when put it in my hands, I realized I might be a half decent drummer. Thank you guys for that. That was a good epiphany today.
Yeah, very nice.
I'm kind of strict about timing.
She's like, I'm on you.
I'm a little bit of a human metronome, I guess, sometimes.
Of course.
A spooning metronome.
Just when you think you're awesome, the spoon lady comes right in.
I just spoons is as quick as I'm going. If the person I'm playing with isn't exactly on time, then I really have to concentrate.
That's right. I remember
My brain starts hurting a little bit.
I remember being in the studio and working with the click track for the first time, and I was really scared of the click track, that little metronome in your ear to keep you on beat. Yeah. Then I realized that when you're doing well and you're on beat, you don't notice it. The only time you notice that click track is when you fall off that beat, and then it's like the worst sound ever.
Yeah, well, and I also notice, like we were talking about earlier, when we're busking and playing with new people, I notice that when I'm playing with somebody who doesn't normally play with other people, that they're on their own timing.
Well, they're not listening to you. They're playing themselves, and they're hoping whatever you do behind them works.
Right.
They're not really trying to work with you. They're kind of just, you're playing and we're playing at the same time.
They're not used to it either, and it takes some getting used to be able to play along with other folks and have that kind of learning.
So this is my first day as the drummer, I'd say, and I like it because I'm listening more to the actual song and trying to get deeper into the song and paying more attention and slowing down. It's not about me. I realized that I like being this background today. I'd like that I've had that day to do that. This will be tomorrow to me. I mean, I might just sell my guitar when I get home.
You're a good percussion guy.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, don't sell your guitar.
Don't sell your guitar, bro. Don't quit the day job.
No, Asheville and Hendersonville will be very, very sad. Have you ever thought of going to other cities like Knoxville? Have you tried Knoxville?
I've done Knoxville before. They have a Blue Plate Special show out there, on tour. I've been through there.
Yeah, Blue Plate Special's fun.
That is you feel like a legend when you play there. You see everyone's touched that stage before. Man, what am I doing here?
Yeah. It does feel very professional.
It puts this new goal in your head to get your own plate. I don't know if anyone's been to the Blue Plate Special, but it's called that because once you play, you become a legend. You get your own plate on the wall. It's a little wall of fame. Avery Brothers have played there. Mumford's played there. Who else? The list goes on and on. People have come through that place. So when you get your chance to hit the stage, you look around man, I want my face on a plate one day. I want that.
Oh yeah.
But I love places like that. I love venues that have that kind of legend, that have those stories behind them, that this is just a stopping ground. This is where people on their way up, they stop here, and it lets you know you're on the right path.
Yeah, there seems to be those few venues that you just go to. If you're going to this city and you're passing through, then you're gonna book here, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
And
you feel weird if you can't book it. You're man, maybe I need to come back. Try again.
Yeah. And Blue Plate Special is one of those things, and I'm hoping folks will start wanting and doing the same with Busker Broadcast here.
Yes.
And I just really want more buskers to be coming through and hanging out and talking to each other and having a great time.
I love the invitation to these shows. I remember hearing about the show a lot and thinking, I'm a busker. I'm not on Busker broadcast. Yeah, where's my invite? Then you show up like, the golden ticket. I'm like, yes, I'm in.
In your defense, it's a very new show, So
Okay.
You came in pretty close at the start.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that we'll have you back on too, maybe in a month or two, and we'll consistently have our regulars, regular Asheville buskers back to give us updates and
Very cool.
and talk and be able to let listeners know, because we all kind of have our own little fan base. Even Billy Scribbles is getting a little fan base going, and I'm serious. I get all sorts of compliments.
What's your demographic? Who's your crowd? Who loves some Scribbles? Who's like, yo? Who's asking for your autograph?
Well, I mean, it depends on who I'm playing with and what instrument I'm on,
Okay.
Like, some people like me on banjo, but I'm like, it depends on who I'm playing with. If I'm by myself, people are like, you're really good. If I try to play with other people, I'm like, ooh, I gotta learn some stuff. But then, like, I'll play the spoons, people are like, you're really good. When they see Abby play, like, he's alright,
Yeah.
And then, like, somebody else that was, like, really awesome on the spoons, be like, you're better on the banjo than you are. So everybody has, like, a different opinion. Then I have the guitar and the harmonica, so kind of, I have different crowds for different things, I guess.
I've noticed I get a lot of the moms and like the daughters. The dads are always like, but it's always moms and daughters like, he's cute. Come on. Come on. Like, I put on the adorable face. Hi, I'm just playing songs.
I kind of feel like my fan base is very, very diverse.
Yeah.
Extremely diverse. I have a lot of those traveling kids know exactly who I am and where I'm going and what I've been doing. And they get
I've
real
seen people that
excited
come here
when they-
too. See, I've seen those people are like they'll literally ask me, "Do you know where Abby is?" I'm like, "That's discouraging, but yeah, she's down there." I know.
I think it's fun though. It's kind of like a traveler on an adventure.
Yeah,
Like, yes, but first must pass through these 3 gates.
you must see.
Gates of knowledge, and like, it's fun, and I make up like folklore and stuff about Abby, and like, well, some said, actually, this one kid came to town looking for Abby, and then he like never met her, he wanted to meet her, and I was like, well, if you want to meet her, you must go to this, you have to go to the iron statue at midnight with a pair of spoons, say Abby come forth 3 times, and then she will emerge in a cloud of smoke, and then play the spoons and be gone. He's like, really? And then, like, I saw him the next day. I was like, you do it? He's like, yeah, but I forgot to say. I was like, Abby, come here. Was that it? I'm like, no, you said it wrong. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun to meet people like that,
Yeah, see, I actually live in a secret underground layer underneath the Flatiron building, and if you shine the spoon symbol in the sky against the clouds, then I will appear.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, I just, I never really expected to be a professional street performer when I first started playing music. My whole thing was as I was traveling and I wanted a way to feed myself, and I couldn't afford a guitar, and so I started clicking spoons. And I'm a little OCD, and there it went.
Nice.
Pretty much. Well, and that's the thing is it was completely unintentional. And so a lot of buskers now, coming out, maybe they're starting, today is their first day, and maybe the next day they're going to be incredibly amazing at something, and people are going to be making up crazy stories about them.
This guy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can I ask you just one quick question? As buskers, do you guys do that thing where you see people coming and you try to guess will they give you money or not?
Yeah.
Like you're trying it's almost like stereotyping. Maybe the worst thing ever to do, but you're kind of like, yeah, definitely them, or nah, not a chance,
There's this lady, well, it's body language,
Yeah, I see these little emotions.
Yeah, and like I remember one time I was busking, and this lady, she looks at me, and she like and gets closer, and she stops and starts going to her wallet. I'm like, oh, okay, she's gonna tip me, and she like pulled it out. I was like, thank you very much, but it was just her phone, and she's like talking to somebody. I was like, oh.
Yeah, phones have gotten me. I forgot that women keep phones in those purses too. It's not all money in there.
Yeah.
I don't know when I learned that all women carry bags full of money and that's all they reach in there for, but no, that needs to stop.
A lot of things in there. I'm like,
I think my favorite thing is like, I've noticed whenever there's a big family, I'll see like, mom, dad, 3 kids. That dad will have to give all 3 kids the $1 because you can't just let one kid tip. You can't have them be the representative for the children. This is not going to happen.
Yeah, no, they'll fight over it.
Yeah.
Fight over it. Yeah, and with me, it's I want to ring the bell. I want to ring the bell. I want to ring the bell. All the
Yes.
time. And it's real fun to watch folks giggle.
Yeah.
Like they'll tip me, and I ring this bell every time they tip me, and
Cause and effect.
right, and
Yeah.
it's funny because you'll get this little giggle like throughout the crowd the first time they hear like.
Yes. I wish. I mean, I see that the statue people. I want to do what they do. Where I just stand perfectly still until I get money and then play. But I can't do that. I can't just sit in a chair and wait for people to come by, give me a buck, and then start playing.
See, I'm way too fidgety. I couldn't.
Yeah, I could never
tapping
do
my
that.
toes, like, come on, I gotta do something.
Mariachi bands, they'll be floating around in Mexico, and they just kind of sit around until somebody tips them like $50 to play.
I want that. Give me that skill. How do we just
But
stand?
when you have a group that big, I guess maybe you have to do it that way. I don't know. But I guess that's the equivalent of Mexican busking. I don't know. I've never been there. But anybody who has been to Mexico and opened up a tip case, please write us at buskerbroadcast@gmail.com or please get a hold of our Facebook page because I would really, really love to hear your stories. And maybe even have you on here to tell us your stories because that would be really awesome stuff to hear.
I'd like to know.
I would really love to know. Jacob Maurer, if you're listening, I'm sure that you were the one thinking, rolling your eyes, going, okay, that's me.
This guy, I thought I was a weird busker, but now I realized we all do the same silly things. I'm like, is that just me or is that everyone doing that? Yes.
Just understanding like human nature and body language, and what does work, what doesn't work, cause and effect. A lot of elements. It's like do all these calculations all at once in your head.
I mean, I always feel bad when like there's a song that I love, but when I play it on the streets or stages, no one else feels it, and I'm like, goodbye. When I have to scrap something for my set, I love this song, but
that's the other thing. Knowing your audience.
Yeah.
When you see like younger, like drunk people at night, you want to play rowdy music. They're like, yeah,
The burners,
like,
yeah.
But then like kids, you want to do like more like happy sounding, and they want to dance. So it's like just knowing your audience and kind of going from there.
Right, and I've also learned that crowd mentality. You kind of have to learn a little bit about crowd mentality. And what I mean by that is that very often people, like especially within my crowds, they want to see me going fast. They want to see me moving things real fast and being all flary with it.
Well, I've seen you. I know, like to see.
Show to go with the soundtrack.
Right. They don't want to sit in a crowd and listen to slow-moving songs. People don't want to have that kind of moment in a big crowd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? In big crowd situations,
It's all energy.
They want energy songs.
Yeah.
And a lot of those slower songs will still work for busking, and they're still great busking songs. And I'm not saying that, but I'm saying in a crowd situation, at least for me. And everyone's experience is different, and I'll keep repeating that. But at least for me, I feel like they're just not into that.
I have trouble with. I write a lot of songs. I write lots of originals, and it's hard to convince people that you like this song when they haven't heard it before. And I think Sarah's the same thing, where it's like we write lots of songs, so balancing covers that they want to hear along with what we're trying to introduce, which is new music. That balance is hard for me. I'm trying to figure out how to do I rope them in with some covers, then slide the originals in, or do I try my originals and maybe hope someone likes something fresh?
Yeah, I think a good mix of both maybe is good.
And once people decided they already like you, they're more open to like other suggestions. So like you play the songs they want to hear, and then like, oh yeah, I really like this guy. He's pretty good. And then
then it's like, by the way.
Yeah, and then they're like,
well put.
Yeah, it's basic psychology. Like once they decide they like you, they're open to pretty much anything.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's real well put.
It's like Busker intervention. I like this. This is good.
Busker psychology is kind of an interesting subject all in all.
Yeah.
Like why is there always $1? There's always $1 in that tip case before you get there.
Yeah.
I never. There's always something in there first.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. They'll bait their tip cases. They'll put
I call it the seed dollar. Yeah. No one wants to be first.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I do that because there are less people who will walk by my empty guitar case and not see it as a receptacle for money. They'll try to hand me the dollar, like, where should I put this? I'm like, right there, the empty guitar case. Sorry.
Universal sign for please tip me here.
You'd think so. Some people, they'll reach over the case to try to hand me this dollar, saying I need something to put money in.
Yeah.
How about you just look down?
Yeah, it is kind of a weird thing.
Remember Yuli?
Yeah.
She was in town. I was with her the other day, and I was busking, and she was watching. And
She's still in town, isn't she?
she left yesterday,
Oh,
but she's gonna
Julie.
be back. She said.
Bye, Julie.
She has an adventure she has to go on,
Okay.
but she'll be back. She really liked it here.
Okay.
But she was like sitting next to me, and I was like busking, and then this lady really liked. She's like, "Play Cripple Creek," so I played it. And then she just gave the $1 to Yuli and walked off. It was really funny. Yuli was like, no, this is mine. I was like, no, keep it. It's cool.
Oh, goodness. Well, I know also that that as the season goes, things are going to start getting really, really super busy. July and August end up being like it's a Friday night on a Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah.
And that being said, I would like to remind folks that if you are coming out and busking, that if you have any questions, if you have any concerns about other buskers, if you witness something that shouldn't be going on, if you get into an argument with another busker, contact AshevilleBuskersCollective.com at gmail.com, and we'll try to help you out as much as we possibly can. And we are not a law enforcement agency, but and I stress this because certain things do need to be handled by the police. And there are certain things we just don't have the capacity to handle as a Buskers Collective. But we are willing to step in if you've got an issue with a specific busker and talk to this person and be civilized.
Yeah.
And we encourage you to also talk to your other buskers if you're having an issue with them too. If somebody is too close to you, too loud, speak with that person, let them know, because maybe they just honestly don't know.
Good point.
Step one, and try to be as kind as you can as you're doing so.
Recruit them. If you can't beat them, recruit them. Start a band with them.
If they're too loud, just play along.
It's like Sarah's too good. Must join her.
Do we have anything else we're wanting to jam out to?
Give us Sarah's songs. Sarah's songs are just fun.
Sarah's song?
At some point in time, we're gonna name this band, and you'll all get to enjoy it. But for right now,
Oh my goodness. Okay.
oh my goodness.
Okay.
What's this called?
Figure one out yet.
Do you want to do one that we haven't done before?
Why not?
Yes.
Oh.
Why not?
I want to hear a new one.
Brand new, guys. New album. Not even out yet.
All right, what's it
Okay,
called?
this one's called November Blues.
Awesome.
What are the chords?
Since in C
Tell us the
minor.
chords so they can play along at home too.
Yeah.
Well, I can't put it down, so now I'm not even sure. I'll do it up here. D minor, C, and G. Pretty
Okay.
much. Pretty much that's it. I mentioned Asheville in this song. It's about how I want to come visit my friend here and other things too. But
Didn't know how to say goodbye, so I let it grow stale. Oh, darling, have I failed you again? Well, I'm painting over roses and closed eyes, and I'll miss them to my surprise. My ghost of an African spring. Last time I came home, remembering. And I blow through this town to find the ground beneath my feet. It's leaving me bitter, oh, it's leaving me sweet. And I'm knee-deep in November blues. There's a love song on my breath, but don't know who to write it to. And this old heart is beating for a change. Gotta get out of this harvest town, 'cause the bar is burning down and the wind, it calls my name. It's the talk of the town, everybody's down these days. Can't get my head around the bloodshed on the mountain. A child at home, I don't remember you this way. I've been waiting around for too long now for a reason to stay. Well, I could have been my reason. You know I want you, babe. You know I want you. You know I want you. 'Cause I'm knee deep in November blues. There's a love song on my breath, but don't know who to write it to. And this old heart is beating for a change. Gotta get out of this harvest town, 'cause the bar is burning down and the wind, it calls my name. Gonna buy me a ticket to Asheville, gonna see my friend I miss. Get you out of my mind, though it's hard to find a sweeter kiss than this. But I'll find me a pretty banjo player and join in a bluegrass band, and maybe I'll stay there for a while. Try my hand at being a southern gal. Oh, I'll miss your smile. I think it would have been a good baby. Maybe some other time. Maybe some other time. 'Cause I'm knee deep in November blues. And there's a love song on my breath, but don't know who to write it to. And this old heart is beating for a change. Gotta get out of this harvest town, 'cause the bar is burning down and the wind, it calls my name. And the wind, it calls my name.
Very nice, very nice.
Woo! Oh, we were a little out of tune there.
I know, I think so.
So-
Lordy.
So you're not a regular busker, but so do you have a day job? Do you? I mean,
Yeah, I work. Yeah, I'm working as a like a beer vendor, delivering beer and wine
yeah.
for a company. Yeah.
And what would y'all be doing if you weren't busking?
If I weren't busking, I would be a much weaker performer, so I probably wouldn't be getting any shows. I think I'd be a stockbroker. I'd say stockbroker. Yeah.
You like the stocks?
I mean, that was like plan A, and then I was like, wait, I really like guitars. I like this guitar. I did a lot of hiking and backpacking and things, and just realized that, like, I like the commuting culture around music and things. And
Yeah.
So you went with the job that gives no money.
yeah, I went for that. Went for that one. But I've made it a way that I can. I know if I play like 2 or 3 shows a week and I do busking and I give guitar lessons, I can just do music all day. Every day, I'm like, me and this guitar help feed me, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah, I'm not. I haven't bussed that much. I'm a nanny back home in California.
Yeah.
And I just drove out here, so.
I knew it.
Music for the kids you watch.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. And I teach cello lessons to kids and do all sorts of things.
What would you bring your own children out to play music?
If I had children, would I bring
Yeah.
them out? Oh yeah, for sure.
What about y'all? If you had kids, would you bring them out to go busking?
I'm gonna encourage that one. That's one of those. What? You want a new bike? All right, make half that money. Here's your guitar. Go outside. I'm gonna instill that. You know.
It's good work ethic.
I realized if I knew about busking as a child, I've never asked my parents for anything. I've been good, but I just know to go outside and be good. Get what you do. Practice your craft.
There's younger and younger buskers coming out all the time.
Oh, in Hendersonville, I mean, it's me, and then there's like a 7-year-old with a violin, and there's like a 9-year-old with a keyboard. You see those kids? Like, yeah, they're out few and far between, but that's like the buskers, you know? Like,
That's awesome.
I'm the one consistent. I'm the one that's like, they know me for it, but my favorite day ever was when, like, I saw this kid busking. He's playing violin by himself, chilling. I went to say, hey, good job. Here's $1. And he goes, you're AJ Pyatt. I saw you in the paper. You're the reason I'm allowed to busk in this town. Thank you so much. I'm like, Aw, here's $2. You talk the right talk, young man.
Yeah, that's also when they recognize, because it is hard work.
Yeah.
It is hard work to not only be out there, do and perform and play music and busk in of itself, but when you're consistently involved in that community too, and deeply involved, then it's also putting out fires and dealing with personalities and business.
There was a
owners.
point in time last summer. I remember, like, anytime someone played streets and got in trouble, my name came up, and the police would tell me, and the other stores would tell me about it. I'm like, why are you guys telling me? Because you started it.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, because you're the go-to guy for Hendersonville.
It's really, like, how do you deal with that? Do people come complain to you all the time? Like,
Oh.
you get that?
Oh.
How much time we got here?
I'm like, what am I supposed to do about this?
So we need to have another one of these moments, folks. So if you are an Asheville busker, I need you to take a moment. I need you to shut your eyes. And I need you to imagine the spoon lady standing over you, shaking her finger at you with her hand on her hip. Thank you. All right.
It's for me, it was awkward. It's just always awkward. It's like, hey, those kids are messing up again, AJ. I'm like, what do you want me to, how should I reprimand them or something? Demerits? How do I handle this? I don't know what to do about that one.
Well, and that's the thing, though. It's setting a good example because you know that you are that person. And so you have to even more so be on top of your game and watch what you're doing and what you've got around you and who you're also hanging out with. I mean, it becomes, there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah.
And I know it. Oh, Lord, I know it.
Remember the first week I ever came busking to Asheville, I was consistently getting beers on my guitar case. People were just dropping beers on my guitar case. I was like, you guys gotta quit doing that. He's like, the next person's a family coming by. I'm not trying to have them thinking that I'm just here getting drunk on the corner, It's a bad look. It's a bad look, man.
And it's funny to me because sometimes, like, and I especially hear this in busier cities, not so much here, but especially in busier cities, I hear folks saying, oh, don't get that busker $1 because they're just going to buy beer with it. But the truth is you're out here working hard. If you want to buy a beer, then
you
should be able to buy a beer. You've earned a beer. What does it matter? I mean, you don't walk behind the waitress and, not tip the waitress because she might buy a beer with it later.
Yeah. I've gone to the bar after busking and had parents come to me and say, hey, do you mind leaving my kids here? And they look up to you. And the kids really like your music. Do you mind not drinking here? I'm like, are you serious? Like, I can't. Shoo. Don't want my kid to see you drinking. They love you.
Yeah, and it's true, though.
Yeah, I'm like, thanks, I guess.
But that person puts in perspective, I smoke cigarettes. And so, smoking cigarettes is probably the same thing for somebody.
Yeah, I never smoke while I'm busking or across the street or I go somewhere away from where I am or something. I realize it's an imitatable act. I know I shouldn't do that, but kids, all they do look at you and go, whatever he's doing is cool. That's just the way they think. Like, oh, he's cool. That means that's cool. Therefore, I should do it and become cool.
Right. And, and as far as other buskers go, if they're seeing you talk to your neighbors and say, hi, I'm so on and so forth, and see you being friendly, they're more likely to walk up to you and be friendly and the person that you were talking with and so on and so forth. And hopefully it snowballs and keeps snowballing and we can keep talking to each other.
Yes.
Because it's an extremely rare thing for a city with a busking scene this big, even though it is a small city, to have a busking community that speaks to each other in this way and speaks
love
to the
that.
city in this way. That's a very progressive thing.
I mean, the guys you were jamming with, I remember they were busking in front of Spirit X, and they were very cool. Like, hey man, can you lay off that tambourine? It's kind of throwing off our. And I'm like, fine. You guys can bring it down a little, the banjo, sure. And then it worked out fine. We're good.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, and that's all you have to do is sit there and talk and chat and get to know people, and that's the best thing, like, right. And like Billy, as you've been in town, you've had a chance to sit in with tons of people. See all the time sitting in with somebody new, and I feel like Like, that's been a real neat learning experience for you.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
What do you think about all that? I mean, do you feel like you're learning a lot since you've been... I mean, because you've been busking heavily over the last couple of months, so I'm kind of curious as to how you're feeling.
About, like, just learning and busking and...
Learning and busking.
Well, it's cool, because, how should I say this? Well, when you're by yourself, just playing music all the time, you kind of get locked into that. It's musical inbreeding, you know? You don't learn things new, you kind of become this old, mutated thing of what you do. And you need to, like, expand and, like, see how the people play other rhythms, other chord progressions, and just other attitudes and approaches to music. And it kind of breaks you out of your bubble, and you really... It shapes you as a musician for the better. And I've learned a lot in the past few months. And, like, different instruments, how to play them, and spoons from you, you know? And it's cool when you get to know people, and then I'll just walk down the street and be like, hey, Billy Scribbles! And I'm like, oh yeah, I just met that guy yesterday. Cool.
Yeah.
You know, and it's fun, and it makes a new city seem not so out of touch, you know?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Going home again.
Yeah, it feels a lot more like home than it did before I started really getting into busking, you know?
I mean, coming from Henderson, like, being the Henderson regular, I didn't spend much time in Asheville, but they've done a great job of making me feel at home when I come here. I don't feel that, like, you know, you're not from here, you're going to busk here. I don't feel that. You know, it's just like, hey, welcome to the streets, bro. Here, try this. So here's a good spot over there. I'm like, thank you.
And what's cool, too, is, like, when you're playing outside shops and stuff, you learn the people that work at the stores, and then you really know the community inside and out. And then the police officers walk by, like, hey, how's it going? You know, and then, like, everybody knows each other, and it's like, it's a good thing, you know?
It's a very small town vibe in this little city. It's really cool.
Yeah. It has that small town charm, you know?
I do enjoy the cops are like, hey, man, play that song. You know, the one that goes, you know this? I hear it every day, bro. Come on. You think I don't pay attention? I forget that people pay attention to what you're doing. I forget that people do hear that these shop owners are aware of who you are.
Yeah, and they have their favorite songs too. You know, they
Yeah.
listen to your playlists and they pick out their favorites, and they have their favorite buskers. And
Well, I feel I get so focused on, like, the people passing by, the tourists and all that I forget, like, who lives here. I forget, you know, that girl works here 5 days a week, so she's definitely heard this song 5 times today.
yeah, and you know, paying attention to your surroundings again.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're playing in front of a restaurant seating, you know, it's just a polite thing to do to have a playlist that can last through somebody's meal.
Yeah, that's a tough learn. I had to figure it out.
And it doesn't mean that that's what you have to do by ordinance to play in that spot. But of course, nobody wants an ordinance like that, because that is dumb.
Yeah.
So we just kind of hope that folks will just be aware of the people around them and understand that those businesses also need to make money, just as much as you need to make money.
If I'm ever looking for a spot to play and there's a lot of people, like, eating food outside, I typically just, like, hey, is it cool if I play here? Do you guys any objections, you know?
Yeah.
Just to have their blessing. I just figure, I don't know, give them a chance to say, I'd rather eat in peace, you know?
Like,
I mean, they never said no. They always like, oh yeah, go ahead. And a little small spattering of applause, you know, from the dining crowd. It's nice.
Yeah.
Just make it a community. You know?
yeah.
Exactly. Do y'all know? Do you have any? How do you feel, and why do you feel like busking should be preserved?
It's the culture. It's like you come to places to experience their culture, their vibe, what they're all about. And I think when you come to Asheville and you hear these bluegrass bands, you see the diversity, you're seeing Asheville's culture. Without that presence of it, without that music being there, without those people representing this culture, you just have another nameless, faceless city that has cool stuff that you can buy. You know? That's all it is. Buy a Welcome to Asheville shirt and get out, you know?
It gives the town a huge personality.
And this is just a cool texture. I see the kids' faces. I see the parents. I see everyone like, yes, that's cool. Look down there. You know, it makes it so much more fun just walking down the sidewalk. You don't have to go into a store to be entertained.
Do you feel that if the busking scene here were to taper off, that the visual arts scene would also taper off?
I mean, it all goes hand in hand. It's creativity. And once you start striking out one brand of creativity, the next one's like domino effect bound to follow.
Yeah, I kind of feel that too. Because I find that other cities where visual art isn't as in your face, don't have very good busking scenes. And in cities where it is really visual art is very much so in your face, the music scene is awesome.
Yeah.
And they seem to go very much so hand in hand.
I mean, my favorite busking spots are Malaprops, not Flatiron, because of the big Flatiron, that statue there. I mean, people come to see the statue, and there's music going on too. It all just ties in together.
And the acoustics there are great.
I mean, there's the, between us, yeah. I do sound a little bit better right there, just like I'm in the shower. That little, it sounds so great there.
Yeah, that's a good spot. I like Pack Square spot. It gets a little loud up there sometimes with all the traffic. Sometimes they got some stuff going on in the park, Sergeant Step gets a little mad at me sometimes when the crowds are big in front of Woolworths. I'm sorry, Sergeant Step. I'm very, very sorry, and I will try to...
Humble brag.
Well, the truth is that's another thing that that is of concern in the city is crowd sizes, and if you are creating the crowd, then yes, it is your issue, and it's the same thing with the volume. If you're creating the volume, it is your issue. If it's your amplifier, you should be the one controlling the knob and keeping it at a reasonable level.
They don't allow amplifiers in Hendersonville, but speaking of your point was like, it's your fault. They had designated areas, They put us in these spots. We have crowds around it, and then there's a new problem. That was their fault. That was that. You told us to busk here, and now there's a crowd around it. Sorry.
Yeah,
what can I do?
and that's another thing. It is extremely hard for a busker to be able to... be a full-time busker if they're not allowed to gather a crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're just not allowed to gather a crowd, then what?
Well, I mean, it was embarrassing for a while. I mean, last summer, the cops breaking up every time I had a crowd going, walking by, scatter, but then getting booed. I think our police got tired of being booed, so they stopped breaking them up. There's this isn't safe for who? No, the people don't understand. I pretend not to understand. So what can they do?
Yeah, see, and for me, then going to Hendersonville, if I know that if I'm going to gather a crowd and it's going to break up, then that means that Abby the Spoon Lady can't go to Hendersonville.
I said the police have stopped a lot of their issues. They still want the same areas. They still want you to be in a designated area so they can, I guess, feel something. But for the most part, it's don't leave the crowds alone. They don't bother. If I'm in a wrong spot, as they call it, and I have a crowd going, they'll leave it alone. They're I'm not jumping in front of those kids. Do not leave. You don't want that on your conscience.
I can just picture a funny scenario. The cop decides his order. He's go over there and break up that crowd. He's no, they're all going to boo me.
Yeah, they're going to boo. I've heard over the radio, don't bother. Sure. I remember a cop running my name, and he calls it in, AJ Pyatt, red guitar, do not bother. Just let him go. Let him go. Let him do it. Because I went to court 3 different times, and for a busking violation, all 3 times they were dropped. And the last time, the cop ended up owing me money. So then it just came down to leave him alone. Let him play his music.
Well, they should leave you alone because I mean, you're clean cut, you're well practiced, you don't have a bunch of you're respectful, you don't have a bunch of crud all around you like I do.
It came down to having a really nice DA. I think
I have all my spoons and my bells. I have a lot of stuff that for music playing.
You do carry a lot of things.
I do.
The Spoon Lady is not as simple as you think it is.
No, you would think spoons would be easy.
Back pocket done.
Yeah, no.
I'm at back pocket level. I'm not Spoon Lady,
I saw that she has the cart going on. I'm man.
Yeah, my back hurts nowadays, so I kind of have to have a full-size chair, which is another question. Do y'all feel like the way you sit and the way you dress makes a difference?
Every little bit of it counts. I mean, as much as your songs can be good, they look at you. Everyone looks at you, and they want to connect to you. They want to feel something towards you. I used to have a thing about standing and sitting because someone told me that sitting is disrespectful to the crowd, but now I realize I'm comfortable. I can play well, and people, they appreciate that. And they see it. They see that I made myself comfortable. I'm here. It makes it more like a stage to me. I've made this corner my stage. I've got my suitcase here, the tambourine, a bottle of water right there, and they respect that area as my stage. So that's why I choose to sit down now.
Perfect. I sit down, or I got to.
Yeah.
I bounce them up and spoons off my knees and hit the bells, and I don't think I could do it
Yeah.
sitting.
Plus, I'm only 5'5", so sitting down makes me look a little bit taller. I feel like we can be real in this room now. I'm gonna let some truths out.
That's okay. What do you think? You think it makes a difference?
I mean, again, it depends on the crowd, depends on the person. I mean, one lady gave me $50 when I was sitting down, just sitting on the ground, leaning against the iron, and she first gave me $20 to play her my favorite song to play, and then gave me another $20 and talked to me, and then gave me another $10 and left. And I was just sitting there like a bum, pretty much, you know? Depends on the person.
So I've never done sitting on the ground has been one thing that I've never done. I just think it's a bad look for me. Like, I'm always trying to look overly professional for the streets. Like, he does not belong there.
Yeah, I was just tired. I was just like, I'll try to get a couple more bucks before I go home. And
I hear that.
It worked out.
I love those busking miracles. All of a sudden, you expect to get $8, all of a sudden you got 100 in your hand for no apparent reason. You just happen to hit the right chord at the right time. And this guy's like, bro, family song, my family, here.
Yeah, that's perfect. And those things happen, and the longer you play, the more often they seem to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And like I was saying, it's a big organic thing that bubbles around, and hopefully you can make that happen for somebody else, too, along the way. And pass
I remember busking in and going to the beer garden, order a beer, and then I tried to pay for it, but they brought back like a good $80. And I was like, what is this? Well, some guy left 100 here, so whatever you want, it's on him, and you can keep the change. So I'm like, what?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, like, I had barely $4 to pay for the first beer.
All right, why don't we go around the room and everybody say goodbye, because we're reaching the end of our hour here.
Should we harmonize it? Is the harmonize a good goodbye?
Goodbye.
Goodbye. And maybe recap and tell folks how to find you on the
This is AJ Pyatt, Pyatt. You can find me at ajpyatt.com, Facebook / all that, just AJ Pyatt.
I'm Nathan Robinson from Hendersonville, and thank you very much for having me. I really enjoyed this.
Sure.
Oh yeah, that too.
I'm Sarah Rose, and I don't think you can find me on the internet.
Well,
Maybe.
we'll make it happen. we'll make it so that you can find Sarah Rose. And here's Billy.
And I'm Billy Scribbles, and you can find me on the streets.
Everywhere. Running around. And I'm the Spoon Lady, and again, all you have to do is shine the spoon symbol in the sky, or write to buskerbroadcast@gmail.com, or spoonladymusic.com, or listen to us online and find all of our other awesome shows here at WPVMFM.org.
Or go to the Flatiron at midnight and say, Abby, come forth 3 times. Seems to work.
Yeah, and if you are interested in becoming part of this broadcast, please let us know. You can email us. You can email Abby the Spoon Lady. You can, anywhere. Any one of these things. Just let us know. And come and see us, because that would be really, really awesome. We'll get you on our schedule. So, alright, folks. I guess maybe I should pull up some more of this YouTube-y stuff. Some Bus Break. And if you're curious as to what Bus Break is a video series that's put together by Steve Shanafelt, and which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a bunch of buskers playing music, and he's archived so many of them that they're just so awesome to go through. And so I really, really hope that you take the time to go onto YouTube and find them. I'm searching through trying to pick which one I want to do. Which one did you play earlier, Billy Scribbles?
Mr. Gunn, and, Caffeine, I think it was.
Well, maybe I'll play some Yes.
How do you guys try to say hey mom?
Let's do some Yes Man. All right, folks. Good night. Talk to you later.
About
You are listening to WPVM LP 103.7 FM in Asheville. You can listen to us online at WPVMFM.org.